Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. It's Brandon Devnich here. Hope you've had a fantastic week. Hope you've had a productive week, a very happy week. I would say that this has been an extremely awesome week here at i3D Themes and Pegasus.com. When we're productive, everything seems to be rosy as we're working through our problems here, and this has been an exceptionally good week. So good afternoon, it's Brandon Devnich here from i3D Themes and Pegasus.com with this week's interactive number 96. And you know, for number 100, I have an idea, and I'm hoping I'm going to have enough time to squeeze it in, but it's something special. With this week's interactive number 96, where we share what we're passionate about and what we've been working on in the i3D Themes Design and Code Labs. So we're going to start off this week with the Design Lab, like I often do. We talk about what Colin's been working on. And this week has been about implementing the brand new and updated Pegasus homepage. So why are we doing it? Why is it important? Well, the homepage for Pegasus.com tells a little bit about what it does. It doesn't really tell the story and explain why it is so important to optimize your web pages. And so where Pegasus was when we launched it back in December to where it is now, some 9 months later, it has changed quite a bit. Its purpose has changed quite a bit. What it does has also evolved and will continue evolving on the road ahead. When we launched it in December, we tooled it to be a Google PageSpeed Insights optimization tool. Tackle everything that Google says is important, your web pages are going to load faster. And then we learned, after we launched it, even more about web performance optimization. I would say we've learned a considerable amount since December and have implemented many of those aspects. And so the entire concept of Pegasus started probably 2 years ago, maybe more. Came from one client. One client says, you know, my website is just not really optimized well for PageSpeed Insights. I went, oh goodness, what is PageSpeed Insights? Oh, it's another tool that tells you got to do a bunch of things. Ugh, isn't web design hard enough as it is? And then I started investigating, going, well, you know, image optimization. I can get behind that. Yeah, let's just crunch down some images. All right, so I started optimizing a web page with somewhere around 56% out of 100 for PageSpeed Insights, and went, all right, we'll get it up a little bit more. Okay, it's now at about 75. That's good. Jumped quite a bit then. And then I did, oh, Minification. What is that? Well, that crunches the web page down in the CSS. Okay, that's great. Yeah, not a problem. Let's do that. Sounds great. Makes sense. Smaller files, transfer faster. Okay, scores coming up. And then we learned about browser caching and how to instruct the web browser through certain control files on your server, how to tell the web browser to maybe cache some resources that don't need to be served every single time. That's a good idea. And then the big one, deferral of render blocking resources. This was one that just boggled my mind. Okay, so we've learned how we can maybe defer some of these resources to load, like JavaScript, like CSS. Why? And then we learn why. And then the solution for when you defer this stuff to what's called the flash of unstyled content. How do we make critical path CSS? And then we came up with a solution. But I tell you, the process to learn all of these things to make a web page score well for this Insights tool at first was mind-boggling, but then we learned how to do it. And then we said, there's got to be a way to make this easier for us, because we were then, once we learned how to do all of this, we were getting requests to optimize site after site after site after site. I went, okay, let's make a tool. So we developed Pegasaas Accelerator, which is essentially Pegasus Lite, I would say, without any caching. And it was fantastic. It was getting traditional web pages, you know, like those web pages, .html extensions, static web pages. It was taking them and boosting them from, I mean, I kid you not, there was this one web page we took from 0 out of 100. It was so bad, and we took it to 97 out of 100 by turning it on, turning Accelerator on. We took the load time of that page from something ridiculous, I don't know what it was, I think it was a minute, to, I think at that time it was probably about 15-second load time. You can imagine there were a lot of images, a lot of unoptimized images, along with everything else that needs to be done to make sure the web page loads fast. So we thought, this is fantastic, this tool works great. What next? We thought, well, there's this whole market for WordPress. And WordPress websites are inherently slow, usually because they're on terrible web hosting, and everything, the web page, the rendering of the web page is done real time. It's a platform that really needs web pages that are optimized so that the pages can load fast and come up fast. So we built this tool, and it took us, well, I would say about 18 months from start to finish. And what we did differently from the Numo Accelerator is that we really took the heavy lifting that is required for what we're trying to accomplish with Pegasus by showing the page speed scores before and after, and the critical path CSS detection and injection, and some of the minification, and the image optimization. We offloaded that from the client server, because on WordPress, it's already it's already resource intensive, and if you get on a slow web hosting platform, it's gonna really slog things down. So we built an API, a software as a service. It's SaaS, software as a service. And we thought, geez, what could we call it? We thought Pegasus. It's got great SaaS. That's a tagline that we never ended up using. Rise above the cloud. Time to fly. These are all good ones, but not it's got a great SaaS. That didn't make the final cut. In any case, so we developed this, and then the plugin then interfaces with the API. And as we progressed, again, along the road, we have fine-tuned its ability. We have fine-tuned the process of signing up. We have fine-tuned and made it more and more streamlined. In fact, as we go through the next 3 to 6 months, the focus is really going to be on how can we make website optimization, making your website faster, or web performance optimization. How can we make that as simple as possible for the average website operator? Because don't get me wrong, there are lots of experts in this field that know how to optimize a WordPress website with different plugins. But you have to have in-depth knowledge about how that all works and how the pieces of the puzzle all fit together. And I'll be honest, even trying to get some of those plugins to work together can be very, very difficult. So that's why we built an all-in-one solution, one where you just hit a button and it's done. And it just does all the work for you, and your website is now fast. Now, we come down to, that's what it does, but why does it do that? Why does Pegasus make your web pages faster? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Faster is better than slower, right? Because nobody likes to wait. Well, I think there's something really critical here that many website operators have missed, many in North America anyways. Because they have a desktop computer, and they can get on and they can get 20 megabits, 30, 50, or I've got 300 megabit connection. I'd love to have gigabit, but it's fast as it is. What we're missing is that cell phones, being ubiquitous, everybody has a cell phone, right? Over 60% of search done through Google is done on a mobile device globally. And that is skewed a little bit towards those markets that have slower data connections, 3G connections. And one stat I heard said that even through 2020, some 70% or more of global data connections are still going to be on 3G. Now, if you don't know how fast 3G is, it isn't. You might have thought in 2007 like I did when I got an iPhone 3G, that was fast. And in fact, it had a web browser. You could go take a look at web pages, and you were just grateful that you could get on the internet from your data connection. And you were pleased to even have 3G. Well, now 3G, us being as a society, we are impatient. Oh, just give me the web page now. You know, we're expecting fast data speeds because desktops are just that much faster. And some of us in the major metropolitan areas have 4G or LTE connections that can reach 80, 90 megabit speeds. Not me, because I'm in a really dead zone and I get 3G speeds on my LTE. But everybody is using their cell phones all the time. And when you're used to web pages loading fast, and you come up against a web page that maybe loads pretty good on a desktop, guess how fast it loads on a slow data connection? Extremely slow. And it's not, you know, just you, it's everybody else, and then those people that are on 3G connections or slower in different markets. And so think about it like this. If your web page takes 5, 6, 7 seconds, 10 seconds to load on a desktop, how long is that going to take on a mobile device? So if you can bring that down, the chances of you losing that visitor reduce. Because there's a couple reasons, I mean, there's a number of different reasons for making sure your websites load fast. The big one these days, because of something that happened with Google last month, is so that you can be found in search. Google's making a big push, primarily because most of their search, most of the devices, most of the searches are done on a mobile device through Google. Their primary device is going to have a slower data connection, so they want to encourage, strongly suggest that your web pages are loading fast. And so they've added to their ranking algorithm for the mobile first index as of first week in July. If your web pages are slow, they are not going to be necessarily as positioned as well, all things else considered equal. Not as well as those that are web pages that are fast if you're searching for the same search term. And so that's the number one reason. People want to make sure that they can be found in search, because Google is their entire purpose is to provide great user experience, right? They want to provide great relevant results that are geared for the device, so you're not seeing a desktop website on a mobile device, and that are fast to load. Nobody wants to wait 15, 20, 30 seconds for a web page to load. They have better things to do. This happens to me all the time. I go on my cell phone and I click on a link. 1, 2, 3, it is not loading. And I hit the back button or I click on another link. That bounce, I'd call it a bounce, didn't even register with that website's analytics software because the web page never actually loaded. So that's a bounce that you didn't even know about. And then there's the other bounces that reached your website, and then because it loaded so slowly and maybe part of the page loaded, I just can't dig through the rest of this site having it being so slow. They're not going to wait around. They bounce. So you've lost visitors there. And then there's the aspect of you can save yourself money with advertising, because many pay-per-click platforms give you a quality score, and that quality score, part of your quality score is based off of how fast your pages load. So you're going to save yourself money there. But really it's about providing the best user experience for your visitors. So somebody comes to your website, the page loads fast, and on they go, and maybe they can purchase. You've saved them, I don't know, 5, 10 seconds per page load by making sure your website is optimized. You can save 5, 10 seconds per page load times, I don't know, 100 hits, 200 hits, 1,000 hits, 10,000 hits per day. How much time are you saving your visitors? How much lower is your bounce rate going to be? And then multiply that by how many days in a month. How many human hours are you saving by making sure your website is loading faster? And what is the potential that you're accessing by reducing that wait time for a web page to load? Is it happening almost instantly? So that's why we do performance optimization. That's why we talk about this. why we suggest that you really look at making sure your website is as fast as possible. And again, with Pegasus, there are solutions out there that you can piecemeal together. Some of them are extremely technical, and I can't even. Part of the reason is why I built this solution was because I didn't want to have to go through the process of actually doing some of these things for my own website. I said, you know what, this is too difficult and not user-friendly. I am going to build a solution that is. So that's why we're doing it. We're doing it so that the average user, me, you, can click and go and install and have a fast website and really level the playing field and maybe even get a leg up on your competition. Anyways, that's why we're doing the update to the Pegasus website. I didn't even talk about what I did this week. Quickly, I'll go through it. We were talking last week, what I'd be working on this week is implementing PayPal for the Pegasus platform, making sure that you can click, buy, that sort of thing. And when we first did the checkout, the subscription, the sign up for Pegasus back in December last year, we decided to go with Stripe for credit card processing, and that we would implement PayPal as time went on. And as time went on, we had a fair bit of feedback that says, I'd really like to sign up for your solution, but I really want to use PayPal. You can think about this. PayPal, it's worldwide in most markets out there. And you don't have to have a credit card. You can hook it up to your bank account. And so you don't have to give out your billing details. And so we said, all right, it's time. We're doing this. That's what we're doing next week. And Monday morning came and I started doing my research and went, oh, squirrel. I got distracted with something I found in Stripe. Apparently, and I didn't see this didn't think that I had time to do it, you can implement something special with Stripe that we have now implemented, and it's now in beta, and we'll be releasing it probably at the same time we do the PayPal, and that is mobile payments. So what that means is Google Pay, Microsoft Pay, and yes, that's right, Apple Pay. So with your phone, you can sign up and you go bloop with your thumb or whatever. If you're using Google Pay, you just press the button and it accesses your stored payment details without having to pass along the credit card information. It just passes along a special token that we then use to access the billing details. It's awesome. And I thought, why didn't I know about this? Why haven't I paid attention to this? And it's easy to implement from my point of view. Okay, I'm sure not everybody's going to find it easy, but I thought this is a fantastic library. I need to take this and implement this for our own Numo shopping cart. So if you have a Numo shopping cart that uses just PayPal, it's in the production line, it's on the to-do list to implement Stripe compatibility with Numo shopping cart, which will allow you to have mobile payments such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Microsoft Pay. And I'm hoping to get that done in the next month. That would be awesome. So anyways, next week I'll finish up the PayPal integration, and then we're going to be moving on to our next big thing, which will be Pegasus Hosting. A one-stop, very easy sign up and migrate solution. Because that's one of the toughest things about moving your website, is how do you get all the files over? How do you get the database over? How do you get your emails over? So we're going to be making it a very simple wizard and done. Hopefully like a 2-minute sort of thing, if we can swing that. There are some complex things, but that's the idea. Really, our aim with Pegasus is to make your website fast without there being anything that is going to cause headache along the way. You want this to be a seamless solution, and unfortunately there are solutions out there, but again, you have to piecemeal them together and have some technical knowledge. Pegasus is all about the click, one and done, and easiest thing ever. Set it and forget it. Anyways, I hope you've had a fantastic week. Hope you've had a productive week. That's what makes me happy, is a productive week. And that you got great plans for the weekend ahead. It is a long weekend here in British Columbia, Canada. It's BC Day. So anyways, we will probably not be taking phone calls on Monday, but we will be here on Tuesday, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.